Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Clutch here, and today guys, we're back in the NBA 2k20. I hope you guys are all having a great day and everything's going well for you guys. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys how to build this Blake Griffin build, this lob threat build in here in 2k20. Now this build, I think it's one of the really challenging ones to make. You have to build it very specifically to be able to get a lob threat. It is extremely hard, and like I've been tweaking around with it, trying to mess with it, seeing what the best way is to get this lob threat build along with getting the most badges for this build. But there are some very specific things you need to do to get this build. Now guys, for the skill breakdown for a lob threat, I feel like there's two you can really pick, but I'm gonna go with the main finishing one for a lob threat. Obviously, that is one that you would touch. Now the other option you could do is the defending in the finishing pie chart if you wanted to, but I'm gonna go with the pure finishing pie chart for this lob threat build. Now for the physical profile, I've noticed a few things. I tried this main speed one, I tried the vertical and the strength one split in half, and I didn't get as many badges. Those are definitely two good options, but I didn't get as many badges if I went with the balanced pie chart, giving me 90 strength, 73 vertical, and a 72 speed. Now again, that is total personal preference. I'm going to go with the balanced one though for this build. I feel like this gives you the most badges. Now guys, what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to go ahead and max out all of my shooting stats. Obviously that's a no-brainer. You're going to max out all of your defensive stats for this build. You want to be able to play defense, especially if you're going to be playing the center position. But I'm going to go ahead and actually take this offensive rebound down until we can get up to 12 badges. And I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade my driving dunk, my standing dunk, my driving layup, and then my close shot. Now I'm going to go ahead and tweak these a little bit to get them, to get us the most badges possible. Now guys, what I ended up doing is I took 11 off of my driving layup. I took this down to a 76. You could take it down to a 76 or a 77, and that should still give you 21 badges. Really, if you'd rather have your +1 on your close shot or your driving layup, either way, that ends up giving you a total of 21. So when I ended up going with the attributes, I tweaked the driving layup in the close shot a little bit. Now you actually can mess with these a little bit, depending on how you'd like to do this. I'm gonna actually leave it like this. This will give us 22 badges, but I upgraded my close shot rather than my driving layup, just because I felt like if I was driving, I don't really know. These stats are very similar. They're going to do some of the same things, your close shot and your driving layup. Like, your driving layup is your close shot. So, in reality, I didn't know how much I was going to be driving with this build, and with my driving dunk being so high, I figured that would be fine. But this way, I'm getting 22 finishing badges, 12 defensive, and then 10 shooting badges. But this is what we look like. We maxed out pretty much all of our defensive stats. We took down our offensive rebound a little bit, and then we maxed out all of our shooting stats to give us 10 badges there. And we didn't touch our post moves, which is something I'd love to be able to touch with this build, but we weren't able to. But that at least will give us more badges in those categories. Now for the body shape, you can go with whatever you'd like. I'm gonna go either with defined or burly. I'm gonna go with burly just to give ourselves the slightly bigger shoulders. Now I understand Blake Griffin, he is listed as 6'9". I'm not gonna make this build 6'9". To get a lob threat, it is extremely hard making it 6'9". I haven't been able to do it. I've tried, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this build 6'8". This should help our driving stats, our defensive stats. It helps our speed. It hurts our strength a little bit, but vertical helps, and being 6'8", having a 79 vertical is definitely great. Now for this weight, there's multiple things you could do with this. You could max it if you'd like. That'll definitely help. You know, you'll be able to push people around a lot. I'm not going to max it. Blake Griffin is 249 pounds, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him at like 250, probably 249. We'll probably go actually with just 249, but really it's pretty much personal preference, wherever you'd like. We'll go 250 for this. For our weight, we ended up going with 250 pounds. Now that again is whatever you'd like, but I'm gonna go with 250 for our weight. That should help our interior D. Now for the wingspan, you can really put it wherever you want. From what I've seen, and I messed with this a little bit, you can go ahead and put the wingspan wherever you'd like, and you'll still get a lob threat build. Now if that's what your big thing is the name, you could go either. If you'd rather help with your shooting, you'd lose a little bit on your steal. Otherwise, you can make more of a defensive build and go a little bit bigger. Now, really, maxing it is a good idea, and so is minimizing. It really depends if you want to be able to shoot better with this build, or if you'd rather just, you know, be better on the defensive end and grab rebounds. I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle for this, and I'm gonna go probably. I don't really want to lose any shooting stats, so what we'll do is, if we go with if we go with anywhere between, if we go with 87.7, we lose 1 to our strength, which isn't awful. We get a +1 to our steal, we get a +2 to our block, and then we're overall a little bit bigger, which should help out with our wingspan and everything. And I know Blake's wingspan, I think it's like 83 inches. So if you were going to try to make this as similar to Blake Griffin's wingspan is listed as 83 inches. It's listed as 6'11". So if we put it at 82.9, that would be closest as we could get. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it at 83.9 because that way we're still getting a boost to our shooting stats, but we're only losing 1 to our block. If we go down any lower, we lose a steal. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this at 83.9. And then for our takeover, guys, I feel like this is apparent. We're going to go with the slashing takeover because if you're a lob threat, you're obviously going to want the slashing takeover. That is the takeover you're going to want because you're going to be catching a lot of lobs with this build. So we're going to go with that. Now for this lob threat build, guys, we got a lob threat similar to Mari, Anthony Davis, and John Collins. I know it doesn't say Blake Griffin, which I'm really surprised. I've gotten Blake Griffin when it says interior forces and stuff, but I really think he's more of a lob threat. Like prime Blake Griffin, we're coming out of Oklahoma. He was a lob threat. That's what he was known for, was catching lobs. So guys, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this at a 99. I'm gonna show you guys what I would do for these badges. Now, for this one playmaking badge, I'm going to put it on quick first step, but another good badge I would suggest would be bailout if you're trying to pass out with this build. If you go up for a layup attempt and you're like, oh, this isn't going to go in, you can quickly bail out to somebody else, but we're going to go with a quick first step. Now, for these shooting badges, guys, I'm going to put on corner specialist as well as catch and shoot. I feel like those are things you are going to use with this build. Like, you're going to want to shoot threes from the corner with your three not being very high, catch and shoot, because you're going to get the ball passed to you a lot. We're going to put quick draw. I'm going to actually put it on gold for this build. Again, that's more personal preference, wherever you'd like. Me personally, as I've said, I kind of want 2K to just get rid of quick draw and make it so you can just adjust your jump shot speed in the jump shot creator, almost how it used to be. That'd just be my personal preference. I don't like having to waste badge points on the speed. If you could just change it in your jump shot meter, I'd like that a lot more. And I also want to put deep fades on here because if we shoot any fades with this build, I want those to go in. And I understand Blake Griffin's actually been shooting a lot better this year than he has in the past. But overall, he's like with the Pistons while he was playing, he was shooting the ball a lot more, which is good. You know, he's expanding his game and things. But guys, this is what I would probably go with for these shooting badges with bronze Deadeye, hot zone hunter, catch and shoot, silver corner, silver deep fades, and then gold quick draw for my shooting badges. Now I actually go ahead and do these defensive badges first. What I would do is I would put brick wall on here. You're gonna be setting screens with this build. I'd put intimidator on gold, as well as I'd put rebound chaser. You're gonna be grabbing some rebounds. What else I would do is I would also add rim protector on here. I'd probably put that on gold. I feel like you would want moving truck. And then same thing with Chase Down Artist. Those are some bronze badges you'd want. Now, obviously, Pogo Stick would be a great badge to have, as well as Interceptor if you're planning on, trying to, get those passes that are coming in to the opposite center when you're on defense. But these are probably what I would do for these defensive badges here with gold Intimidator, gold Rim Protector, silver Chase Down, or silver Brick Wall and Rebound Chaser, bronze Moving Truck, and Chase Down Artist. Now, box should also be another good one to have, as well as post move lockdown would be other good rebounding badges to have. Now, guys, for the finishing badges, this is the main badges for this build. I feel like there are two that are like no-brainers. You're gonna have Contact Finisher on Hall of Fame, Lob City Finisher on a Hall of Fame, because that is in your name. You are a lob threat, so you're obviously going to have that. Other things I feel like you'd have, Putback Boss. Blake did grab a lot of putbacks, so I feel like that is a necessity for this build. As well as Relentless Finisher, you're going to want that. Giant Slayer in case you are finishing over any big centers. You're going to want Slithery on this build. I feel like Back Down Punisher is something you're going to want to have because if you're trying to make moves in the post, you're going to want that. Now, another badge you're going to want Fantasy Footwork, just because how OP that is in this game this year. I feel like, hop steps and spins and things like that are very, very overpowered in 2K20 this year. So you're obviously going to want that. Then other things you could do, I feel like if you want, you could use Pick and Roller if you're going to be setting a lot of screens with this build. That is definitely an opportunity to use that. But if you'd want, you could maybe upgrade Back Down Punisher, or you could just put Giant Slayer or Relentless up a little bit higher. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to upgrade Giant Slayer to gold. But that is all opinion. You could throw that on consistent, or you could put it on Fancy Footwork, wherever you'd like. But this is what I would go for these finishing badges for this build, guys. I feel like this is a pretty good representation of Blake Griffin here in 2K20. This lob threat is definitely a build that I feel like it's harder to make. It's very, very challenging. There's only like a small window of attributes that you can use to get this build, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's any other players you guys would like me to make, put them down in the comments below. I can make those ones sooner than later, guys. But anyways, it's been King Clutch here, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out, guys. Thanks.